Hey everyone, it's Mojaxx back in the DJcity UK lab. Something a little bit different for you today. We are taking a first look at the new version of DJ for iOS. This comes from Algoriddim in Germany. Now this is the first time they've actually combined all iOS devices into one app. Previously there were two, the iPad version and the iPhone version. Now it's just one app across the board and it's free to get started for the basic version. Then there is a Pro option which gives you a lot more features, loads more going on in there. I've been playing around with the beta version for a couple of days now, so it is a first look, not a review, but yeah, lots to talk about. Let's get to it. In classic mode, the new version of DJ will look immediately familiar to anyone who's ever used an older version on their iPhone or iPad. And that's a good thing. That skeuomorphic vinyl decks look has always been accessible and simple to use with touch, whether for beginners or experienced DJs. It's got all the basics you need: sync, key adjustment, effects, cue points, loops, filters, everything you need to get started. There's also a lot of new stuff going on here, but firstly let's talk about the way you now pay for the app. DJ is available for free on the iOS App Store, with a single app which works on both phones and tablets. Previously the company had separate apps for each type of device. And what do you get for your no money? The classic turntable view for 2 decks. You also get basic Automix mode, Spotify integration, so if you have a Spotify premium account, you can mix millions of tracks straight away, and hardware support for official DJ controllers like the Reloop Mix-On 4, Beatpad 2 and the Pioneer DJ WeGo 4. That might well be enough for a lot of people, especially beginners, and as a free app there's really no downside. It's worth downloading just to mess around with. If you want more though, there is the Pro subscription option. Yes, I did say subscription, and I can feel the comments kicking off down below immediately. I've never really been a huge fan of subscriptions or software as a service, but there's no doubt that it is the way things are going, especially in the Apple ecosystem. It's good for developers, they get a steady revenue stream, and there's no doubt it can sometimes be good for users too, with the small monthly cost often being easier to manage than larger irregular update fees, and it means you're always up to date. In the case of DJ, the cost doesn't seem especially unreasonable at $4.99 a month after a 7-day free trial of the Pro features, and there are a lot of those for sure. There's support for 4 decks to start with, even on your phone. You get the looper and sequencer mode, which we'll look at shortly, advanced Automix, video mixing, a single deck preparation mode, extra effects from Sugar Bytes, and there is a lot more you can do with the library too, like track filtering and smart playlists. There's even Ableton Link, which means you can sync DJ with numerous other apps wirelessly. But for me, the really exciting thing is compatibility with external hardware. Over 50 MIDI controllers are mapped out of the box, with models from Pioneer DJ, Reloop, Newmark, Denon DJ, Novation and others. There is full MIDI mapping to allow you to remap those, or do your own mapping for any unsupported iOS compatible controller. It also works with Bluetooth MIDI devices as well. Multi-channel audio interfaces are supported, so if your controller features audio, it'll go through there just as if you were using it with a laptop. Naturally, I was excited to try this out, and here is where I found that the actual device you use can make a difference to your experience. On Apple devices with a Lightning port, and when not using an iOS specific controller, you need the Apple Lightning to USB camera adapter. Now this works okay, but it doesn't charge your phone or iPad, so you need to ensure your device is well charged before you embark on a long set. Plus, some devices, like the Pioneer DJing SP1 that I tried, draw too much power, so you might need a powered hub. On the new 2018 iPad Pros, however, Lightning has been dumped in favour of USB-C, and this opens up more possibilities. Using Apple's multi-port AV adapter or a suitable USB-C hub, you can connect your controller with the traditional USB cable and connect your USB-C charger for pass-through power, so you can perform for as long as you like. This also means you can connect up multiple types of output too, in this case an HDMI connection to an external monitor, either to mirror your screen or for video. In my brief time testing, this was absolutely smooth, although I do note you must connect the HDMI before you connect the controller, otherwise the HDMI output takes over the audio. The video mixing side of things in DJ is pretty interesting. Recent iOS devices really are very powerful under the hood, so have no issues either playing visual loops over audio or video files in general. I was able to import H.264 HD videos into the app via iTunes and mix with them just fine. You also get access to some video specific effects, and you can do text and image overlays too. There are a bunch of video loops available to download as part of the Pro subscription.
Also included with that subscription is access to a load of samples and loops for the new sequencer and looper functions. The sequencer lets you play one-shot samples and record them into a loop, which then quantizes automatically. The looper is a lot like Novation's Launchpad app. Quantized loops are spread over 48 pads, and you can play 8 of them at a time. It can be set to a BPM of your choice or synced with already playing decks. There are loop packs from lots of different genres to download, which is cool. I'd like the option to mix and match loops to make custom sets though, and I'd also love to be able to send the looper to a specific channel rather than just the master for a bit of extra control. What I do love is how in video mode you can run a visual loop on each of the 8 looper channels as well as your decks, making 10 video channels in total. Pretty cool as it is right now, but with some added customization, this could make the basis of an absolutely killer portable VJ setup. You will need a fair bit of power for all this. Algoriddim talk a lot about the A12 processor in the latest iOS devices in their PR, and I found it was all smooth with my first generation iPad Pro as well. I'd be interested to see how well slightly older iPads perform. Certainly on my iPhone 6s Plus, it didn't struggle with video mixing, but the looper video loops aren't available on there, so it's quite hard to judge. 3 things I must discuss before I wrap up this first look. Firstly, some DJs might scoff at the idea, but the advanced Automix could be a big selling point for some people. If you're, say, a Serato DJ user and you need to run tracks during a dinner hour or something like that, then the Automix function is a great alternative to just playing pre-recorded mixes. There are lots of options in the Pro version, and it generally does a decent enough job of keeping things smooth. As with any Automix system, properly set beat grids will be essential for anything beyond simple fades, and so that new single deck mode could prove to be handy for setting those up. Secondly, Algoriddim have had the whole cloud thing pretty much nailed for a while. You can bring music files into the app via Dropbox and the Apple Files app. Like many things on iOS, this can be a little bit convoluted, but it does work. And using iCloud, all of your cues and saved loops are available across all the devices using your iCloud account. It's done automatically, zero fuss, zero hassle. It even does it with Spotify files, which is the third thing. Obviously, streaming is popping up in most DJ software now, but DJ has had Spotify integration for some time. It's plenty smooth. As long as you have a premium account, all of your playlists show up immediately. As with most streaming options for DJs, the files have to be streamed. You can't use offline files, and you can't record when using Spotify Music. There are a lot of questions about how legal or not it is to use Spotify for commercial purposes, but for home use, there's no doubt that Spotify is still the favourite streaming service of most people, and so it's great to have it in DJ. One final note, I understand how a lot of people will be unhappy with the move to subscription pricing, I get it, but Algoriddim have set up a deal so any user who previously paid for any version of DJ gets a special upgrade price of $9.99 for the first year, an 83% discount. Speaking from experience as someone who lost out big time with another app that went freemium a few years ago, I respect that move on their part, very much.
So there you go, a first look at the new version of DJ for iOS from Algoriddim. Definitely a very interesting piece of software, and it's one that I keep coming back around to. One of the very first videos I ever made for YouTube was a look at DJ on the iPad, and that was with my iPad 2, so that tells you how long ago that was. But even at that point, it did feel like a potential future for DJing. It wasn't like the definitive future of DJing, it was like, yeah, if things go in certain ways, this could be how we end up playing in the future. And you know, the hardware just wasn't quite there. But now here we are in 2018 and we have this new iPad Pro. This thing, in terms of sheer horsepower under the hood, this thing smokes my 2011 MacBook Pro. Absolutely kills it. And it's got USB-C connectivity, so that opens up a lot more stuff there as well. And we've got 5G is coming down the line. There's streaming in here. Obviously, they've had Spotify for ages. There's the Dropbox syncing. All this kind of stuff is going on. This is a very forward-thinking platform, and I think now the hardware really has caught up. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are lots of people performing already with DJ on iOS in professional environments. You know, Reloop don't sell all these DJ-compatible controllers for fun. They're selling them because people are buying them and they're using them. So yeah, this is very much a professional piece of software, and maybe the time to sort of reassess whether you do need a big bulky laptop. Maybe a smaller tablet or even your phone could be all you need for your music source moving forward. I don't know. But either way, there's great stuff going on here for beginners. There's a lot of really interesting stuff for pros, even as just a backup kind of thing. You know, the idea that you could perform with a pro level controller like this Denon MC7000, be in the middle of your set, you have a catastrophic laptop failure. Well, it's okay because I'll pull out my phone, plug that in. I'm going to use my pro hardware for the rest of the night with my phone, job done. That's really interesting. So it's very flexible, very forward looking. I'm going to spend a lot more time with this over the coming months because yeah, the hardware is there now. I think the time might be right for this iOS kind of DJ. We'll see. Thank you for watching today. Make sure you subscribed and you hit that bell icon down below to get notified anytime there's a new video from myself or the rest of the DJcity team. I'll see you soon.